opportunity that is lost. Should have used his physicality.
He did. Are you talking about who now? Because you talked about Abera and you
Now
talked
I'm
about...
talking about Salif Fofana.
Okay.
Should have used his physicality.
Always start with his name. Salif Fofana should have used his physicality. Because you talked about Abera. Now it's going to be a free kick that has been given to Adama. Then back into the midfield. Simply being put up at the front. It's going to go out of the field of play. It's going to be a goal kick now. And it will be taken by the Hadi Hossaina side. They're pressing, they're pushing. They've got two men up at the front to start the runs. One is Salif Fofana. They've got Bismarck Appiah as well. They've got an experienced goalkeeper, Ipsa Abebe, who's making sure that is keeping a clean sheet in today's game. Adama have conceded a total of 5 goals, but they have at least scored 4 of them, so a -1 goal difference is why they are down at the 9th position with only 4 points. This will not be any trouble to the goalkeeper, Dereje Alemu. That's a quick one up in the front. It's picked up again by the captain of the Adama side. There's some exchange that includes Abera. This will be given out for a goal kick. Now out here, they're also playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2-2 in their formation for the fans. 8 behind, 2 at the front.
No, it's a grid.
That's 10 in total.
It's a 20 by 20 grid where they're playing 5v5.
No,
5v5.
No, there's no 5v5. There's 8 of them behind and 2 at the front.
So those are 10.
Yeah, 10 fans, like I told you, they're allowing only 10. That's a very good formation for a game like this one. And it will spur these teams on the field of play. The coach maintains a face that doesn't give away a lot. It's just a face that says, I'm here and I'm watching you. Then a big boot that comes off Tesfaye Bekele's foot. The clearance not yet done, but it's going to roll out of the field of play. It's been done, but not the way it was intended to. It's going to be a throw in here.
From the way Hadi is playing, it tells you that they've come for business.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that has brought them here apart from business.
Okay.
And their business is getting the 3 points in whichever manner.
What about Adama? Did they come for business as well?
Will not.
Or did they come to watch the others come for business? Well, they are here to cut out this business. They cut out for a throw-in. Yeah, Adama playing seriously. But, Hadia are playing on a serious note, looking for the goals. They're not casual at all in their approach as well. But maybe it's just a contrast of styles as well, as Adama sometimes looks very casual in the way they're approaching the front. And so the pressing looks like it's coming from Hadi Hossaina. Here is a very hard shot with a header! Cleared off the line, it goes in finally! I think it's Bismarck. No, it's Salifu who will take the credit for it. It was cleared on the line, and yes, everyone's wondering, how did that get into the net? For the Hadi Hossaina side, it will be time to celebrate. And Salifu will be the man to take the credit. Some of those things that happen in football, the clearance on the line, there was a handball, but ultimately, it's actually Dawa Hotesa who was the last touch on that ball, not even Salifu. Salifu goes for the rebound here, and then Dawa Hotesa seems to be the man who, actually Sinde seems to be the man who puts it in. Sinde seems to be the man who ultimately, knees it into the goal. Salifu will take credit, but we know it is Sinde who has actually scored it right in front of the goalkeeper. The fans don't really give a damn. Well, the fans are happy. They'll just be celebrating it. And the name that will go in for the scorer will be Isaac Sinde, even though Salifu will want to take the credit for it. We have the truth of it all, and it is Sinde who has scored that goal. Down on the left side, they're already again beginning to try and push. But here is the scoreline. Hadi Hossaina 1 and 0 for Adama with Isaac Sinde's 36th minute goal. Gilbert, you wanted to say something about this?
I told you about the physicality of Hadia, and I also told you about the business end of Hadia. And no sooner had I finished talking about the business end, they truly came to the picture. And Isaac Isinde, the Ugandan international, turns in the first goal.
Well, more of a little push into the goal line in a melee there, but it wins it for the Hadia Hossaina side. So they have changed the scoreline here. They'll change the way this game is going to be played as well. Salifu, of course, doesn't know that we have nailed it onto Isinde. So it's going to be Boyd as he's playing the game here.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. Maybe at halftime is when they will confirm for him that it was actually Isinde who scored it. So Adama have looked very casual in the way they're playing, especially trying to go through the midfield. They really have tried to avoid it. Bringing the ball onto the left side. This is Kalu. The defenders now know that if you've got to clear the ball, you've got to clear it categorically. Big run on the right side for Adama. The green shots approaching. They'll get a corner for that trouble, with the hard work being done by Tafese Serka. And probably bring in more men for that corner attempt. Serka scored a goal against Jima. I think he scored 2, one in a penalty and one in the 56th minute. But he's needed to help out here, although he's the one taking the corner. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men who he's telling to get in there. The lie is one of them. There are so few for a challenge here. They're outnumbered by the defenders. You might argue that it's not about the numbers, but the quality of what you're going to be bringing in. So because off the field of play, it's going to be a throw-in. Yeah. This man is taking the credit, and he will be enjoying the moment as well. He knows this game is on television, so he knows it's a little bit of showbiz. But we know that Isinde is the one to push the ball into the net. He's actually been creating the trouble up front for the Hadia Hossaina FC side. But we'll see whether now he can be able to score from open play as well. Goalkeeper has this one firmly taken in his hands. So how should Adama then recover from this one?
Well, they should avoid the long balls. They should avoid, because they are not physically endowed as the Hadia side. So they need to move the ball quickly and onto the ground in order to be able to break this tightly knit defense line.
Well, they have it on the ground. Through ball, but just a little bit too long, straight into the hands of the goalkeeper, Ibsa Bebe. I beg your pardon, Dereja Alemu is the goalkeeper on the Hadia side, who starts it with Isinde. Plays it out to the left side. Well, it's just interesting that the game might look a little bit slow, and and that look becomes deceptive. The flag has stayed down. Goalkeeper gets to it and lets it roll off the field of play. The game looked very deceptively slow in the opening. And then suddenly with just a burst, there's so much that happens in that goal area to result into a goal, even after the better of the build-ups didn't result into anything else. It's quite interesting in a game of football like this one, Gilbert.
Yeah, I saw that one coming, Bernard. I saw that one coming. Hadia were more assertive moving forward. They had no numbers at the back, and at one point you saw them, the whole team in
Oh,
Adama's
you mean
half.
you saw the goal coming?
Yes, I saw the goal coming.
I was talking about how the game was slow in the beginning. I thought you said you saw that coming. So
the goal coming. I mean, you talked about the game being slow.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it was going to burst into speed like that and into a goal-mouth melee. But you're saying you saw the goal coming.
I saw the goal coming.
From a kilometer away.
From a kilometer away.
All right, Gilbert, I shall be calling you the seer, Gilbert, because you're seeing these things from a very long distance away. Do you see anything coming out of this free kick as well?
Not from a long ball.
Not from a long ball. They float it into the area. The goalkeeper has it very firmly in his hands. We've seen goalkeepers fluffing these ones in previous matches and were very heavily punished. In technical games, so much of what we've seen in Ethiopia happens that way as well. This is a foul here. Referee says, calm it down, Belai. I am in your... Oh, yellow cards in for a double-footed challenge. You know, people get injured in these double-footed challenges, and I think Abaine should know by now. Look, just went hard and for the feet, and
you're right,
it's very lucky that Emmanuel Gobena just jumped off that one. He can't, you know, you can never claim innocence in something like that.
His left leg was just a slightly above the ground, and the right leg coming in.
How many yards above the ground?
Oh, just a foot above the ground.
I'm not going to ask you what's a foot in relation to a yard. Otessa cuts it back, doesn't push it to the center. Otessa's playing too casually as well today. He needs to up his game. yes, he's the captain, and yes, we know he's a little bit timid after a red card that he got in the 90th minute, in which he was hero and villain as well. But that's water under the bridge. He's already back into the game and needs to play, progressively and with the intention to get the best out of it. Isinde cuts it back. It's going to be a throw-in. 40 minutes we are playing, 42nd minute actually that we're playing in this game. And Isinde has gotten himself onto the score sheet now. This is very interesting for the seasoned Uganda international, 4 times league winner with St. George. He knows the value of winning the league, and he's come into a newly promoted side. He knows what value is adding onto that side, Gilbert.
Yeah, he does, with that experience. Of course, having played for the national team, Uganda Cranes, for quite a while, I think he brings in massive experience defensively and very lethal, especially when they have an occasion to play the set pieces.
Yep, plus the fact that he's just scored for the Hardia side makes him a very valuable player here. This is too long again. They have tried to get the ball to Jamil Jacob. They're not making the timing correctly. The ball is either ahead of him, or he's too far out on the right side, or it just doesn't get to him. And that's something they need to change now, because if it's not working, you can't keep doing it. You're not going to get different results. It's going to be the same result every day. You can't keep doing it. You're not going to get different results. It's going to be the same results here to bring it back to the midfield. Attempt to go through has been thwarted as Otessa picks it up for Hadi Osaina. Tries to calm down the game. His footing is not as sure, and he knows it as well. You can see he's almost blaming himself for not having a very definite footing here. Jamil Jacob. And some better control coming off for Yoashalet Fikadu. This is the first time we're seeing the numbers coming in for the Adama side, who I think at the moment are also afraid of making too many adventures up at the front. Yeah, they are afraid of making adventures. That's being timid.
Yeah, it's good to make adventures forward, but again, you don't lose the ball. Don't lose possession of the ball.
But losing it that way is being timid, for sure. I mean, it's just being afraid of taking responsibility for the ball there.
They know exactly what is going to happen. You lose the ball in a prime position, it's a quick counter-attack, and they can't match the speed of the forward three from Hadi side.
So Adama will start it again. And you hope that they're going to be a little bit sharp up at the front now that they have position. Coming to the left side, they probably will employ the use of Akalu, or they change their minds and decide to go on the right side. They got space somewhere in the middle. Again, hitting on the right side. The timing, the defender, the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper makes easy work of that difficult situation with 2 strikers up at the front, but no one exactly knowing when to go for that ball. And even the defender had left it behind, but the goalkeeper proves that he's the last man and the last line of defense when it comes to that, Gilbert.
It's like the Reja Alemo has some binoculars.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. He reads the game so well.
With binoculars?
Yes, he reads the game so well. By the time you play that long pass, he's already, moved into a position.
Yeah. No, by the time you play the long pass, he has put the binoculars back in the case, and he's now ready to take the ball with his hands.
He's a sniper.
Gilbert, you should write a book. I'm going to look for his binoculars at half time. But yes, he's got good foresight in what is going on in this game. I think that's what you're saying, Gilbert, that he's got good foresight. This was dropping, and it was also looking like it was going to go off the field of play, but he was not very sure about it. And I think he does the best thing when you're not sure. It's just make sure you put it out, because he uses his left hand, and he himself rolling and making sure he avoids the post here. I think it's a good tact. Otherwise, this could have taken the post, or at the best, maybe would have rolled into the net.
Yeah.
Now I agree with you, Gilbert. Not only does he have binoculars, I think he might have every other gadget used to protect himself from far shots on that side. Hadi Osaina will come back into the midfield, and then they lose possession. Some attempt to dilly-dally with it by Desalaigne Debache is ill-informed, although they keep possession. Better delivery by Tesfaye Mikele into the midfield. Hadi Osaina on the run with a big man, Bismack Apea. decides to wait a little. Yeah, you're never too sure when that kind of challenge is coming to you from Mujahid Mohammed. But they still pick it up again. Manuel Gabena was part of it. They bring it back to the midfield. We got 2 minutes of added time, Gilbert. We've already played one. Please give me a summation of this one without the binoculars and without the sniper gun in this one.
Hadia have utilized their physicality very, very well. They have defended extremely well on high balls, and they've attacked ferociously whenever they're in position to go forward. For Adama, I would say they've been very reserved in how they build. Their build-up has been quite slow, and most of their passes have been very late.
So probably that's things that they will need to change in the second half, because this one is looking like it's going to be a lost cause for Adama in the first half. And so it's in there. We will probably go into the dressing room and have a little chat with Fofana and tell him in his ears, by the way, I'm the one who scored that goal. I hope they don't have a fight over it. Big boot now to try and get Bismarck Appiah to run on it. The defender frantically informing his other defender to cut back diagonally behind him. There's one man on the left side that Appiah could have given the ball to. Fofana was approaching there, but Appiah goes with a mean intention. And he gets penalized for that mean intention as well. Bang on the 47th minute. Lydia brings this one to a close in the first half with a scoreline in favor of the Hadia Hossaina side, with a goal scored by Asa Kisinde from a goal-mouth melee that brings it at halftime. Hadia Hossaina 1, Adama 0. We'll be back with the second half.
...2021, what do you wish for?
Do you wish to make your mark in the fast lane, where it's all about podium finishes?
To be strong and to be healthy.
Durante the war against the whole host.
To experience new challenges.
To make every second count.
Yes, you can do it. Yes, you are great.
And write history with every step.
Is your wish to make the world sit up and listen? Sports can make your wishes come true. So don't miss any moment of the very best sporting action 2021 has to offer. Experience it all on Super Sport, only on DSTV.
It's good to have you join us on the World of Champions.
In the true spirit of the game.
Danger. What a marvel! Again! Across comes in, and a chance here. That's a good chance, good effort, and it is dramatic in the end. And it's a beautiful goal!
It's Bola Yapa Z on your World of Champions. Bola Yapa Z is available from $30 value upwards.
Wase, 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 wase,
ትብር የብሔራው ድማ
የአረንጓዴ ፍቅር ለምለም ቄጤማ
የእምነት ክዋኔ የውበት ፍርቱና የአባይ መፍለቂያ ምንጭ የአፍሪካ መዲና
በጣም ንክክ የበዛበት በጣም ረጅም ኳሶች የበዙበት አዳማ ከነማ ሞር ዲፌንሲቭ ነው የሚጫወተውና በካውንተር አታክ አንድና ሁለት ሰው ነው ወደፊት አድርገው እንትን የሚሉትና በረጅም ኳሶች ነው ሁለቱም ቡድኖች እንደሚጫወቱት እና ፓስ የሚጫወቱበት መንገድ በጣም ዝቅተኛ ነው። በረጅም ኳስ ነው መጠቀም የፈለጉትና በሁለቱም አንድ አይነት ሐሳብ ነው እንትን የተባለው። ሁለቱም በዲፌንሲቭ ነው እየተከላከሉ ያሉትና በረጃጅም ኳሶች ነው ማግባትን ምርጫ ያደረጉትና አሸናፊነትን የፈለጉበት መንገድ ያ ነው። ስለዚህ በጣም ብዙ ማራኪ ያልሆነ ጨዋታ ግን ንክክ የበዛበት ብዙ ረጅም ኳሶች የበዙበት ጨዋታ ነው።
አሰልጣኝ አሸናፊ ከጨዋታው በፊት አስተያየት ሲሰጡ ፍሰቱ ጥሩ የሆነ መልካም ጨዋታ እናያለን የሚል ሀሳብ ነበራቸው። ግን ያንን በሚገባ የተመለከትን አይመስልኝም።
አዎ ያንን አልተመለከትንም። ያው
ጎሎች የተቆጠሩበት መንገድ ከቆሙ ኳሶች፣ አብዛኞቹ ሙከራዎች ደግሞ ከአራቱ ከምንመለከታቸው ሙከራዎች ሶስቱ በቆሙ ኳሶች የመጡ ነበሩ። ወደ መጀመሪያው የጨዋታው ሙከራ እንሂድ። በጨዋታው ሀዲያ ሆሳዕና ከረጅም ደቂቃዎች በኋላ ሙከራ አድርጎ ነበረ። ይሄ ሙከራ እንግዲህ ኢብሳ አበበ ያዳነው ኳስ ነው። ከቅጣት ምት የተገኘ ኳስ ነው። የቅጣት ምት ጎል ከዚህ በፊት አስቆጥሯል ዳዋ ሁሴሳ። ሲመታም በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስም በአዳማም አሁን ደግሞ በሀዲያ ሆሳዕናም ጥሩ የቅጣት ምት መቺ ነው።
በጣም ጠንካራ ነው። እዚህ ጋር ኢብሳ አበበን ነው ማድነቅ ያለብህ። በጣም ጠንካራ ሹት ነው። በጣም እዛ ጋር ሰው በጣም በመጨናነቅ ውስጥ ነው ያለውና ያዳነበት መንገድ በጣም ጎበዝ በረኛ ነው። ይኸው አየው፣ በጣም ጠንካራ ሹቱ በእግሮች መሃል ነው ያለው።
IWW Plus is our most holistic program ever. You get more of what you need to help you lose weight.
ግን የግብ ጠባቂዎች የሚቆሙበት አካባቢ መሬቱ ግን አስቸጋሪ ይመስላል።
በጣም አስቸጋሪ ነው እና ምቹ አይደለም ሜዳው። ያው ቅድምም ተናግረናልና ይሄ ኳስ ቢነጥ ኖሮ ይገባ ነበር። ለምን በረኛው ኮንሰንትሬት አድርጎ በጣም ነው የጠበቀው ኳሱንና በረኛውን መዳም ማድነቅ አለብን ብዬ አስባለሁ።
ወደ ሁለተኛው የሀዲያ ሆሳዕና ሙከራ እንሂድ። በሁለተኛው ሙከራ ፎፎና ነው ሙከራውን ያደረገው። አሁንም ደግሞ በተከላካዮችና በግብ ጠባቂው ጥረት የከሸፈ ኳስ ነው። በጥሩ ሁኔታ ፍጹም ቅጣት ምት ክልል ውስጥ ገብቶ ጥሩ ኳስ አግኝቷል። ግን የመጨረሻዋን እንቅስቃሴ ከትዕግስቱ አበራ ቀድሞ ኳሷን ማግኘት አልቻለም። ፎፎና
ትዕግስቱ ያወጣበት መንገድ ደግሞ ደስ ይላል። ያ ማይነስ ሲያደርግ ግን ከሱ ከአጥቂው ቀድሞ ትዕግስቱ ጥሩ ፖዚሽን ላይ ስላለ ነው። አሁን ከደስታ ጊቻሞ ተች አድርጎታል ኳሱን ማይነስ።
ፎፋና ያደረገው እንቅስቃሴ ቀድሞ አለመዘጋጀቱን በሚገባ የሚያሳይ ነው። ዳዋ ታግሏል። ኳሱን ክሮስ አድርጎለታል፣ አውጥቶለታል።
ትዕግስቱ በጣም ተረጋግቶ ነው ያወጣውና አሪፍ ሽፋን ሰጥቶታል። ደስታ ጊቻሞ በጣም ጥሩ ሽፋን የሰጠው።
ፎፋናና ቢስማርክ አፒያ የሀዲያ ሆሳዕና የፊት መስመርን የሚመሩ ናቸው። እንቅስቃሴያቸው እንዴት አገኘው?
አው ዳዋ ፎፋናና ሚስማፒያ የፊት መስመሩን ነው የሚመሩት። ግን በጣም አጥበው ሶስቱም አንድ ፖዚሽን ላይ ታገኛቸዋለን። ለምን የአዳማ የሆሳዕና ፉልባኮቹ በጣም ነው እያጠቁ ያሉትና ለዛ የነሱን ቦታዎች ላለማሻማት በጣም ወደ ውስጥ አጥበው እየገቡ ነው እያጠቁ ያሉትና ግን አጋጣሚዎቹ የሚሰጡት ኳሶች ረጃጅም ከመሆናቸው የተነሳ ሊቆጣጠሩታል። ኦልሬዲ የአዳማ ከተማ ዲፌንሶች ቆመዋል። ምንም የሚሄዱ አይደሉም። አራቱም ቋሚ ነው። በዛ ላይ ስኪመሩም ደግሞ እንደገና ቆሟልና አምስት ቋሚ ተከላካይ ነው ያለው። ስለዛ በጣም የተቸገሩት በዛ ነው። ኳሱን ግን መሰረት አድርገው ፓስ እያደረጉ ቢሄዱ ሰው እየቀነሱ ቢሄዱ የማግባት አጋጣሚዎች ይፈጠርላቸዋል። ለምን የሰው ብዛት እዛ ውስጥ አለ። የሰው ብዛት 16 ከ50 ስላለ ወደ ጎል አቅራቢያ አካባቢ ስላለ በጣም ተጠቃሚ ይሆን ነበረ ሀዲያ ሆሳዕና። ግን ያንን አደረጉም። ረጅም ኳስ ነው እየተጫወቱ ያሉትና ከዛ አንፃር ትንሽ የሚከብድ ነው። ሞር ዲፌንሲቭ እንደመጫወታቸው አዳማ ከተማ አሁንም ሌላ ተጨማሪ ጎል ለማጥቃት ምንም ሀሳብ የላቸውም ብዬ ነው የማስበው።
የጨዋታውን የመጀመሪያውን 45 ደቂቃ ዋነኛ መነጋገሪያ ርዕስ የሆነውን ጎል እንመልከት። አይዛክ ኢሴንዴ የጎሉ አስቆጣሪ ሆኗል። መጨረሻ ላይ በጨርፍራፊ መንገድ የተገኘች ኳስ ነች። ጎል በየትኛው መንገድ ሲገኝ የደስታ ምንጭ ነው አይደል?
እውነት ነው። ያው ጎል ስታገባ ወደ አሸናፊነት ነው የምትሄደው። 16 ከ50 ምን ያህል ሰዎች እንዳሉ
16 የሀዲያ ሆሳዕና ተጫዋቾች አሉ። በቁጥር 9 የሚደርሱ የአዳማ ከተማ ተጫዋቾች ደግሞ
ምን ያህል እየተከላከሉ እንደሆነ ምን ያህል እንትን እንደሆነ እዚህ ላይ የምናየው ይሄ የገጨበት መንገድ በጣም ደስ ይላል። አየው አይዛክ ኢሴንዴን ከበረኛው ፊት ለፊት የቆመበት ቦታ በጣም
ፎፎና ጎሉ እንዳስቆጠረ ነበር መጀመሪያ የመሰለን። ምክንያቱም አይዛክ ከጎሉ መስመር ያለፈ ነው የሚመስለው። ሁለቱም ደስታቸውን ገልጸዋል። ግን
አይዛክ ነው ያገባው።
የሀዲያ ሆሳዕና ደጋፊዎችም ደስታቸውን የገለጹበት መንገድ ነው። በኋላ ላይ ነው አይዛክ ጎል ማስቆጠሩ የተረጋገጠው። በሁለተኛው ከጎሉ በኋላ ባለው እንቅስቃሴ አዳማ ከተማ ወደ ጨዋታው ለመመለስ ጥቂት የማጥቃት እንቅስቃሴዎችን አድርጓልና የመጨረሻው ጨዋታው ከመጠናቀቁ በፊት የመጀመሪያውን ሙከራ በላይ አባይነህ በዚህ መንገድ
በረጅም ኳስ ነው እና በረኛው ፖዚሽኑ ልክ አልነበረም ያለውን ነገር ግን አውጥቶታል። እንደዛም ሆኖ እሱ አሻማለሁ ብሎ ነበር ያሰበው። ወደ ጎሉ ሄዱለት። በኮርና አንድ ነው ሁለት ነው ጎል አቴምፕት ራሱ ያገኙትና ከዛ አንፃር አዳማ አሁን ለማሸነፍና ወይ እኩል ለእኩል ነጥብ ለማግኘት የግድ ማግባት ይጠበቅበታል ብዬ አስባለሁ። በአሁኑ እስከረት በፊት ባየነው አጫወት ግን የሚያገባ አይመስልም። ለምን አጫወቱ በጣም ሞር ዲፌንሲቭ እንደመሆኑ አንድና ሁለት ሰው አጥፍቶ ደግሞ ጎል ማግባት በጣም ከባድ ነው።
በዚህ እንቅስቃሴ ደረጃን ማድነቃችን የግድ ነው። በቁጥራዊ መገለጫዎች የመጀመሪያው 45 ደቂቃ በአዳማ 2 ሙከራ ብቻ ነው፣ ሁለቱም ኢላማ የጠበቀ ነው። ሀዲያ ሆሳዕና 4 ሞክሯል፣ 4ቱም ኢላማውን ጠብቋል። በአጠቃላይ 12 ጥፋቶች ተሰርተዋል። ቢጫ ካርድ እስካሁን ድረስ በአዳማ በኩል አንድ ተጫዋች ብቻ ነው የተመለከተው። 54 ከመቶ የኳስ ቁጥጥር በሀዲያ ሆሳዕና፣ 46 ከመቶ ደግሞ አዳማ ከተማ በኩል ነው። የማጥቃት እንቅስቃሴውን ስንመለከት አብዛኛውን ክፍል የተጠቀሙት የቀኙን ክፍል ነው።
በሱሌማን ሰይድ
በሱሌማን ሰሚድ በኩል ያለውን ነው። 42 ከመቶ ነው። 33 ከመቶ ደግሞ በዚህኛው ነው። አዳማ በጣም ዝቅ ያለ ቁጥሮች ነው በማጥቃት እንቅስቃሴው የምንመለከተው።
ያው ረጅም እንደመጫወታቸው መጠን ብዙም የጎል አቴምፕትም አላየንም። ክንፍና ክንፍ ላይ ነው የሚሄዱት። በጣም ጉሽም ያለው ጨዋታው በብዙ ነገር ሳቢ ጨዋታ አይደለም እያየን ያለ ነው። ግን 1-0 ሆሳዕና እየመራ ነው ያለው። ይሄንን አስጠብቆ አይወጣም። እንደገና አዳማ ደግሞ ከመከላከል ወደ ማጥቃት ይሄዳል አይሄድም የሚለው ነገር ከረፍት በኋላ የምናየው ይሆናል።
በጣም ወሳኝ ነው ለአዳማ ማሸነፍ፣ ምክንያቱም ከሁለት ሽንፈቶች ነው የተመለስነው። ጠዋት ደግሞ ተመልክተናል ከረጅም ጨዋታዎች በኋላ ለማሸነፍ ያለ ስሜት። ሁለተኛው 45 ደቂቃ ለየት ያለ ነገር ልንመለከት እንችላለን። ከዚያ
እንጃ እንግዲህ ከአዳማ ማጥቃት ላይ የተመረጎዘ ጨዋታ የማይጫወት ከሆነ በጣም ከባድ ነው የሚሆነው። ለምን አሁን ሞር ዲፌንሲቭ ነው። ወደ ማጥቃት ካላገባ ደግሞ እኩል ለእኩል እየተመራ ነው 1-0 እኩል ለእኩልም ወይም ለማሸነፍም ቻንሱ በጣም ጠባብ ነው የሚሆነው። አሁንም ልክ እንዳሁኑ የሚጫወቱ ከሆነ ግን አሻሽለው የሚመጡ ከሆነ እስቲ እናያለን።
ለዚህ ደግሞ ወሳኝ የሚሆነው አራቱ ተከላካዮች ቢያንስ ከአራቱ ሁለቱ የቀኝና ግራ መስመር ተከላካዮች ወደ ማጥቃት እንቅስቃሴ ሲመጡ ይመስለኛል።
ለምን ሚድፊልድ ላይ እንድትበዛ ፉልባኮቹ ሲያግዙ፣ ፉልባኮቹ የመስመር ተጫዋቾች ወደ ውስጥ ሲገቡ ለማግባትም መንገድ ትለቃቀቃል። ያለበለዚያ በጣም ከባድ ነው። ፍንፍን ብለው ነው አሁን እየተከላከሉ ያሉት። በጣም ጋፑ በጣም ሰፊ ነው። ስለዚህ ያንን ጋፕ ማጥበብ ካልተቻለ ዲፌንስና ስትራይከር ላይ ያሉት ልጆች ርቀታቸው በጣም ሰፊ ነው። ያንን ነገር ማጥበብ መቻል አለባቸው፣ ኮምፓክት መሆን አለባቸው ብዬ አስባለሁ።
ለዚህ ጨዋታ ሀዲያ ሆሳዕናስ ጎል ለማስቆጠር እንቅስቃሴዎችን ማድረጉ ግድ ይመስለኛል። ምክንያቱም በድንገት የተቆጠረ ጎል ምን አይነት ዋጋ እንደሚያስከፍል በብዙ ጨዋታዎች ተመልክተናል። አስተማማኝ አይደለም። 1-0 መምራት በጣም አስተማማኝ አይደለም። ለምን ኤኒ ታይም የሆነ ኳስ አፕን አድርጎ የሚገባ ከሆነ እኩል ለእኩል ነው ወይ ልትሸነፍም ትችላለና ይህንን አስጠብቆ ለመውጣት ሌላ ተጨማሪ ጎል ያስፈልጋል ብዬ አስባለሁ። ክቡራን ተመልካቾቻችን ሀዲያ ሆሳዕና ከ4 ጨዋታዎች 4ቱንም ያሸነፍ ይሆን ወይስ ከ2 ጨዋታዎች ሽንፈት በኋላ አዳማ ከተማ ወደ አሸናፊነት ይመለሳል? ቀጣዮቹ 45 ደቂቃዎች ምላሽ አላቸው። አብረን እንከታተል።
If money makes the world go round, we want to keep that world safe. As NB Feeder, we believe that the non-bank financial sector needs regulation and supervision. That is why we are guided by international standards and best practices to ensure that the entities in our sector are sound and operate safely, fairly, and efficiently within the law. The non-banking industries that we oversee are insurance, retirement funds, capital markets, and lending activities. We understand the true value of this sector, protecting your money by reducing and deterring potential crime. Our war to inflation is fully accepted.
ፍቅርን ስሻልብ ማከርሙ አገኘሽ አሳይድንም ታሙ ጨምሮልሽ ውበቱን ደግሞ ከአንቺ ውጪ ልቤ ታልሞ ከልቤ ላይ ፍቅር ስታትሞ የቃል ኪዳን ጣትሽን ስሞ አንቺን ብያለው ሌላ ይቅር ትቻለው ወዲያ ታዲያ ምን እመኛለው በቃ አንቺን አግኝቻለሁ አገኘው የራስን በቃ ወዲህ ወዲያ ማለት ተውኩ በመውደድሽ ታክሞ ልቤ ቀረም አንቺ ብሎ አገኘው የራስን በቃ ወዲህ ወዲያ ማለት ተውኩ በመውደድሽ ታክሜ አይኔ ታድዬ አንቺን ብያለው ሌላ ይቅር ትቻለው ወዲያ ታዲያ ምን እመኛለው በቃ አንቺን አግኝቻለሁ አገኘው የራስን በቃ ወዲህ ወዲያ ማለት ተውኩ በመውደድሽ ታክሞ ልቤ ቀረም አንቺ ብሎ አገኘው የራስን በቃ ወዲህ ወዲያ ማለት ተውኩ
Salifo Fofana thinking that he actually is the one who scored in the game, but actually Isaac Isinde scored his second game in this particular game for Hadia Hossaina. Bismarck Apea has been a real pain in, especially on the right-hand side for Hadia Hossaina, and has given Akalu Abera a lot of work to do. The goalkeeper, Dereje Alemu, with that one save just towards the end of the first half, has done tremendously well. And I call him the man with the binoculars. He's very, very adept in the sense that he knows how to read the game. That man, Isaac Isinde, an international from Uganda, has scored his second goal in this Premier League from a goalmouth melee. But you wouldn't call it a quick goal that well deserved. For Hadia Hossaina, this man, Solafu Fofana, has scored one goal to his credit, and he's really the man that they have used to go to, especially in the striking force, as a central striker. They do expect that they're going to give him some more passes in order to be able to create more goal scoring opportunities. Ipsa Abebe came in on after Montari was red carded against in a game that they played against Sidama. Well, the second half, we do expect that Hadia Hossaina is going to continue putting on the pressure that they had. And for Adama City, they will have to move the ball a little bit faster, especially when they go towards the final third, to be able at least to crack down that Hadia Hossaina defense line that has really been put to task. Lydia has done a very good job together with Kinde Musi and Adnet Dagnachu as the first and second assistant. Well, the fourth official is Emmanuel Haile Selassie, and is actually bringing in a substitute. That is Adama making a substitution with number 8, Bekalu Genene, coming in for Akililu Tefera. But I think there's a midfielder for a midfielder, and I think they just want to tone down and try and cut down the highly organized midfield from Hadia Hossaina. Well, we do expect that the second half is going to be more entertaining than the first. And to bring you this is my lead commentator, Bernard Otieno.
Oh, just to help you go through it, that's what it is. McQuinen Teber here and Aweke Abraham Tekle Jesus will take you through the Amari commentary. I am Bernard Otieno, and I'm in the company of Gilbert Saleb. We'll open this up. And yes, we are going to see whether the changes will be made here, as now Adama start on the right, on the left side, bringing it to the right. They will probably have had a chat in the dressing room to change things a bit for the better, but that will be the same story on the Hadia Hossaina as well. And we'll see whether whatever changes they were making will be of benefit. They brought in Bekale Genene in place of Akilu Tefera. This man was rested again in the 40th minute in against Wolaita, so I think he's not a 45-minute player. He's not a 90-minute player, but more of the 45-minute player, and has gone off the field of play in that change that was made just at halftime. So we're going to see whether or not the Adama Kenema side will match the Hadia Hossaina side in terms of the attacks that they were making, to see whether or not this will help change the fortunes in this game. They really do need to have a win here to be able to push them at least to 7 points. I'm talking about Adama. But so does the other side of the Hadia Hossaina side. They want to move to 12 points and probably top the group if they can, from the 9 that they already have at the moment. If they win this one, and we go into a little break before the next round of matches, the Hadia Hossaina side will go into the top of the log. Fisher Thomas has also been brought into the field of play and has replaced Abaine. So they've made 2 substitutions on the Adama side. Now the question is, can the Hadia Hossaina side maintain the same attacks that they were doing in the first half and maintain possession as well to run in their favor, to be able to get the better of the Adama side, or will Adama then stop them from any further movement up at the front? This has already gone off the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be a goal kick, and it's going to be for the Adama side. Too many so up front earlier on in your picture. Playing for the Hadi Hossaina side was Bismarck Apia and Salifu Fofana, the two foreigners, a Ghanaian in Bismarck and a Cote d'Ivoire man in Salifu, are responsible for the attack up at the front. And they are also being helped by Dawa Hotesa in the middle. And it doesn't come as a wonder as well that it is actually Sinde who scored for the side, a defender, because they were already challenging for the ball up at the front and were pushing in that 36-minute moment. But let's first look at whether there's going to be a change. And you've heard the stories about the binoculars and seeing too far off. I'd like to find out whether there was a sight in Gilbert Selebo's mind to tell us what they could have discussed at halftime at the break, Gilbert.
Well, what has been discussed on Adama side is that most of the passes that Hadi are playing are coming from the back four. And therefore, what is going to happen is that Adama is going to put a lot of pressure on the back four so that they don't have an opportunity to be able to start those moves. For Adama also, they brought in Fisher Thomas on the left-hand side of the attack and Bikalu Genene, somebody who can be able to hold on to the ball.
Well, it goes close to the goalkeeper here, but the goalkeeper comes off his line. The Hadi are still holding possession. Well, Salifu and Apea don't make the best out of this one in these very early moments of the game. And if you hear us discussing what we expect in the game, it's because, I tell you, as commentators and analysts, sometimes there's a lot of second guessing that is done, you know, to the anticipating and predicting someone's actions or thoughts. Sometimes it's all by guesswork. And then it probably works, and sometimes it just doesn't necessarily go your way. Then the flag goes up for offside in this one. Yeah. One of the players is already out of line. I think it's Salifu, even before Dawa Hotesa goes for it. It could also be, no, I think it's actually the other youngster in there. It's Al Hassan, who was out there at the front, who didn't get onto that ball. He's the one who's playing in the central attack at the moment. Shouldn't necessarily calling the youngster, but he's just joined the team a couple of days ago. That's him pushing the ball onto the flanks to Dawa Hotesa, who's rolled it off the field of play. Yeah, didn't have the mind to keep it in play. This is cut off for another quick throw-in coming off the foot of Medane Birhane. Into the midfield is Desaleng Debash. And they bring it out to the right side. Tafese Serka chips it into the box. The header just brings it to outside of the box, and a shot, it drops very dangerously, bounces back into the field here. The goalkeeper, well, just keeps his order calm to go and get it. This is the true meaning of the ball actually developing a mind of its own from the shot that comes from outside the box. Quite unexpectedly, Gilbert takes a deflection and is dropping dangerously. Goalkeeper has a little touch on it. It takes the crossbar and comes back into play. And then the defense deals with it from there.
They have to thank the goalkeeper, and that's a very, very good shot from Fikadu, number 21, Yazi. And the goalkeeper actually had a touch on it.
He did. We said that. We just said he has a touch on it, you know.
Yeah,
there,
that little
crucial
touch.
one that then bangs it onto the crossbar. Ricardo doesn't understand why he's doing that, but then he should know that's a goalkeeper. That's his job as well. As the captain of his side, he should have been saying that that should have been a chance to put into the net. And again, there's going to be a lot of chances that will be coming on their side. Is there a problem with the goalkeeper? Yes, there is. After that touch of that ball that he was trying to punch off the field of play, he landed a little bit awkwardly into the net and then came back immediately to try and pick up the ball. And could have twisted something in it. Isinda is watching him and decides to take a little swig of water. This is the moment that they take for the water break. He goes up, look at his right knee. Yes, he bangs his foot there, but he had to recover quickly enough to go and pick up the ball. So he's also entangled in the net on the left foot as well. A lot of things happening to the goalkeeper at that moment. But you got to have the courage to come back into the game, and he does after receiving the medical attention. So 2 saves made by Dereje Alemu keeps them still in the game, with Hadi Hossaina leading this by 1-0 scored in the 36th minute by Isaac Isinde. But they have to organize themselves, even the Hadi Hossaina side. And even though Adama are trying to play some hard defense. They also know that they must move forward as well and try to go for the attack. So, what are they going to do with the free kick? It has been given in favor of course, the Hadi Hossaina side. So, they are arranging who is going to be taking it. Adama is arranging the defense, and the goalkeeper is equally involved in that arrangement. Everybody wanting it to benefit them. So green shirts mounting the wall. Referee says move, goalkeeper says move a little bit to the left because I've got to see where the ball is, and he's frantic at the moment. He believes they are actually blocking his view. He's got to have a view to the ball. Al Hassan Kalusha is one of the men who's going to take it, or pretending to go and take it. He gives a little chip onto the left side. An attempt to pump it through the maze of feet there is a difficult one, and a foul will be given for even that challenge. That gives it back to the Adama side. So even after the halftime break, but in which they had a chat, you personally can give advice on this one. What does Adama need to do?
Well, they had an area right in front of the 18-yard box. That is exactly where Akililu was supposed to be operating from for the second goal, for the second balls, but he wasn't. That's the reason why they brought in Bekalu Ginene to try and operate in that position. So I think they've already made their amends. They know that they have to give support to Yewaleshet. Fikadu was all by himself.
Okay, Gilbert, too many thoughts in that one sentence. I'm wondering, I can't remember the question now.
I will tell you when the moment comes.
No, it's all right. Don't worry about it. No, I just asked what you need to tell them here. But I got what you said. I'm just waiting to see it unfolding on the field as well. It's going to be a throw-in because there was a lot said at halftime, and now they need a summary of it because what they're doing probably doesn't work as well. Good switch to the right side by Emmanuel, and now a good chance to come in through the right side. There's one person who was approaching it from the right. A pair shouldn't have been in a hurry there. Should have looked around and should give a ball probably onto the right side. The right back had already arrived in the situation. But then again, they say that it happens very quickly, especially in the box sometimes.
He says shoot on sight, and there was too much space that was accorded to a pair. And with his build, you expected that kind of a shot.
There's a challenge here. Fisher Thomas together with Jamil Yacob challenging for the possession. The ball has gone off the field of play. It's going to be a corner. It's going to be for Adama. They have gotten the goalkeeper to worry a bit, but among the men who have come in to help out is Desta Gishamo. One of the taller ones, it is carved close to the goalkeeper. Shouldn't have waited too long for a shot, but then again, that's what we are thinking. They usually do think they should take their time to build it up. And then takes off the ball again forward. Dama trying to go past the midfield. The midfield is not crowded, but it's not being used a lot by the Adama side. Now he's on his own here. He's looking for support from behind. I'm talking about the new substitute, Fisher Thomas. They brought him for those purposes of just, hustling for the balls up at the front. He's already worrying Mujahid Mohammed. And Mujahid knows very well that he's got to watch out for what's going on there. Going to be a throw-in. Back to Fisher Thomas, holding his own and taking on the defenders, trying to go past them. Is cut down by Mujahid Mohammed, and Hadi Hossaina get a little break off that push that was coming from Adama right into their box. But Adama is reorganizing. Those two substitutions, Gilbert, of Bekalu Ginene and Fisher Thomas seem to be working for them.
They're working. Fisher is actually on the right-hand side, putting a lot of pressure on the left back on the Hadia side. That is Birhane Vedane. And Bekalu coming through the midfield to support Fikadu at the top.
Long ball onto the right side. Trying to find Kalusha. Rather, they're trying to find Tafesa Serka. And a quick clearance sends it out to the Adama side. We'll have to start it again. And they will start it with Desta Gishamu. Now they are thinking they should keep possession to themselves first and then start the build-up from their side, build it into the midfield, get the numbers going up. The only danger is if there's a counter-attack, but if it goes out forward, it works very well when it works for them. It just goes a little bit short of the intention to Tafese Serka. Cut out for a throw-in by Mujahid Mohammed. That's Medani behind here, beg your pardon. Cut out for a throw-in by Mujahid Mohammed. That's Medani behind here, beg your pardon. Who's cut it out. Well, the referee says bring it back to this other side and start it from this side. Floated by Bekane. And then a little chip again. Fisher! Too hard a header. Should have realized there's somebody behind him as well. But then again, as a striker, when you get the ball in that box, Gilbert, your first instinct is to go for a shot towards goal.
Yeah, he was in a very prime position from across from Tafese Serka. And Fisher Thomas showing exactly why he has to be brought in the second half to at least try and add punch up front.
Starting out on the right side, the Hadia Hossaina side is leading this game. The last game of the 5th week of the resumption of the Ethiopian Premier League. 5 rounds being played in Addis Ababa. 5 rounds will be played in Jima, and then it will move to another venue after usually a little break in between. And all the matches being played in one venue. All the teams camping in that city. Staying in a bubble, getting into a bus in a bubble, going to the stadium almost in a bubble as well. Testing going on as well in COVID restrictions. And those are the conditions in which Bekele Ashinafi has had to give advice to his team to be able to try and get the points for today's game. 24 tackles made here, we can confirm for you. It's going back and forth, Gilbert, back and forth. What happened to the binoculars?
Well, the only game that Hadia knows is to try and place the balls, the long balls behind the Adama defenders. That is the only game they know, because they have runners up front. And for Hadia, for Adama, they are playing what they expect, knitting the passes quickly and trying to go through the midfield.
Well, that sounded a little harsh, Gilbert. It's probably better to say that's the only route they're using at the moment. With that touch by Dao Tessa going off the field of play. He's not in his element today. Honestly, even as the captain, he's not really been on top of his game today. And that touch on that ball was not going to get him anything else. I think the coach is worried about him and he's thinking about whether he should continue to keep him on the game. But he's the captain as well. So there'll be a double loss there in getting a player out and getting the captain out as well. I sometimes don't like to talk too soon, Gilbert, because I think they're warming out a substitute, and I'm not sure if he's going to be coming in for Dao Tessa. We'll see on the Hadia Hossaina side. They got the ball out on the right side. A pair, and then again, Dao Tessa is caught in the offside trap. He's trying to say speed up the game when they start the run, but he's been caught fair and square by Adnet Denachu in that position. That's him crossing the line and leaving 2 defenders. Desta Gishamu is one of them, and also leaving Mujahid Mohammed there. He's complaining, but what is he saying? He needs to speed up the game?
Yeah, they took too long to give him that pass, and that's why he was caught in an offside position.
Why can't he time his run correctly then? It's 2 sides of it,
Sometimes it's eye contact. He expected that he was going to receive a quick pass.
He wanted a quick pass then?
Yeah.
Coming back into the center. Adama need to spring up some creative game in this one. They need to spring up some creative passes. Otherwise, being too legible is not going to help them. It hasn't helped them since the beginning of the game. It will not help them even now. They've got to spring a little bit of a surprise and go for an individual brilliance as well up at the front and use the spaces that they've got to be able to work it out. The defensive formation, of course, is very evident on the Hadia Hossaina side. I think also for the fact that they've got the white and purple, it makes it very easy. A pair believes he can take on the defenders and go on speed as well. They don't have the numbers up at the front. He's going to have to hustle and get it back into the midfield. And when there is a loss, then you know it becomes a gain on the other side. Can they use it now? Big boot to Fisher Thomas. He's been ruled offside. Well, Kindamusi certainly catches Fisher Thomas. He's way out there. Yeah, he's already in front. He's already in front here. Plus, he came out from that position. Yeah, he knows it. He knows he could have done better there. He's almost saying, he's saying, I almost got away with this one.
Yeah.
They made a substitution here. Henok Arfichu comes in. And Merdane is the one that goes off. So, even the captaincy has changed. Not on the side stands, though. The captaincy still belongs to the same man who was leading the dancing troupe for the Hadi Hossaina side. This is a foul that will be given to Tafesi Serka. What do you make of that change?
Well, in the past matches that we've seen Henok Alfichu play in, he's always provided the wing attack by moving forward as a wing back, and I think that's the reason why they brought him in to add more punch forward.
And why do you think Otesa has handed over the captaincy? Is it weighing him down? Because that's him now getting onto a better ball this time round. He simply just gave the captain's armband to Henok Arfichu the moment he came into the field of play. I think that releases him of some burden. I do feel that captain's armband was, it was really constraining him to his real performance. You remember he was red carded, so he's a little bit timid. Could have latched onto this one nicely if his first touch hadn't let him down.
Yes,
as it was brought out for a throw-in on this side, which they've already lost. It's going to go to the Adama side. Do you think that weighs down the player sometimes, having that responsibility?
Yeah, there was too much on his shoulders, and I think by just giving Henok Arfichu, who is a more reliable captain, the captaincy gives him an opportunity to play this type of football that he wants.
I also understand that sometimes the executives give you a responsibility just so that they can keep you out of mischief. And
out of trouble.
Out of trouble. Now Tessa got himself into trouble the last time. I think that's why he was given that responsibility. Now you be the leader and feel what it is like when another player does these things to you. Yeah. I think it has worked. And now maybe with the 25 minutes remaining, he can actually be released to play his free role in his position in the left side of the attack for the Hadi Hossaina side. Isha Thomas plays it into the center. Jahid Mohamed brings it all the way back to his defender, and a long ball onto the left side. Jahid Mohamed brings it all the way back to his defender, and a long ball onto the left side. Oh, this is not the best kind of clearance for it, but Fisher Thomas forces an error in the defender, Suleiman Hamid, and it's going to be a corner kick. Tessa was not in his elements, and he's been pulled off the game here by the coach. They're bringing in another very fast-footed striker, Dula Mulatu. Scored a goal in the 79th minute against Walaita, and he's the one who's being brought here. Very hard worker, Dula Mulatu. I think they make a double substitution because, they've changed their minds. Otesa has remained in the game, and I think they've pulled out Al Hassan. Yes, they've changed their minds. They had me, I think. And they decided it's not going to go that direction. Al Hassan is the man they have pulled out. Alusha comes off the game, the Ghanaian who just joined and has played his first game now for Hadi Hossaina. And Otesa remains in the game. Isha has been at the end of tackles coming from the defense, and a big push as well that got him off the ball, occasioned on him by Tesfaye Lebachu. Really just pushed him, but Fisher is also flinging himself on the ball and trying to make sure that any touch towards the ball will first touch on his body. He's got to be careful about that. One of these days he'll be penalized for being the man who's infringing on the moves up at the front. It's going to be a goal kick. Reggie Allen with the goalkeeper is ready for the challenge. He thinks his players have shielded him well enough. The header here, they are appealing for a handball. They try to pick the ball up, but that trying to move it to a better position is what messes up the entire move. They should have just gone on the first touch. Again, trying to turn here, trying to go for a shot. It's in the net. Adama have managed to level it at a time when it was least expected. The fans of Adama were almost already dispersing. They now have to regroup and celebrate this one. They really will need to play this better. Tikistu Abera is about to put it in the net. They push so far forward. The defenders are becoming part of the attacking team here. And twice they had it almost going for a shot. This one now, with the goalmouth melee, it's pushed to the side. The move was almost spoiled here. It goes on to the far right, and then it's dropped back into the area. And a couple of feet try to go for it. The turn ultimately finds a very good position for Tikistu Abera to roll it into the net. Took his time, so the goalkeeper doesn't go for power, almost like scraping it, and that's enough to, to dummy the goalkeeper, Gilbert.
Well, goalmouth melee, that would you call goalmouth melee, is similar to the one that was scored by Isaac Isinde from a set piece. So a well-organized game, well-organized goal by Adama Kenema. They pushed hard.
Yeah, they did. The fans are celebrating it. I think that goalmouth melee. Now 2 defenders have scored here. And the scoreline is Isaac. 36-minute goal for Sana makes it 1, and then Tikistu Abera's goal makes it 1-1. And we got a game in our hands going towards the 70th minute. Gonna be a throw-in. Isinde pushes it forward. And now there'll be no staying back. Everybody will want to push forward. Starting with the Hadi Hussaina side, bringing it onto the left. There's more men up at the front in white, and they probably get it to Dula Mulatu, who's gone past the defenders, trying to go through the second one as well. He'll get a corner for his troubles. Now that man is trouble in itself, Gilbert.
He is trouble. He is a big trouble, especially when it comes to space, because he has got very fast feet, and he only needs one time pass on his space, and he will definitely prove to be a very, very hard nut to crack.
Flies it straight on the right flank, Dula Mulatu. It's sent back to the defense, who will start the build-up again. No one will stay back at the moment. They all need the points here. A through ball. The Ghanaian has latched onto it, brings it back for a shot. Dula Mulatu says it's a penalty. Lydia Tafese whistles for a penalty. Dula Mulatu was beginning to weave himself into that box. The fans love it. You and I will get a chance to see it a second time. Well, he's simply cut off there. Mujahid Mohammed looks like the guilty man in this one. Comes from behind, tackling very hard. And pushes Dula Mulatu down. The chance has been given to Dawa Hotesa to probably increase his tally of goals here. He scored and was red carded. Now he's got a chance to go for a penalty. Dawa Hotesa. Oh, it doesn't look very composed, does he? Neither does the goalkeeper anyway, so it's a very tense moment for both of them. Dawa Hotesa versus Ipsa Abebe, with a chance for Hadi Hussaina to go further up. Goalkeeper is just too calm. Seems like he knows something that we don't know about.
He's focused on the ball.
And the whistle goes for the penalty to be taken. He goes in the wrong side. Dawa Hotesa displaces him and scores quite happily to himself after a game that has not really gone his way, and at a time when he thought he was the obvious substitute choice for the coach. The 71st minute then becomes the minute that Dawa Hotesa will be happiest, because he again puts his name on the score chart. Well taken penalty, Gilbert.
Well taken. The goalkeeper makes one step on his left. Look at him. The goalkeeper makes a step on the left, and Tessa picks the right part of the goal to score the second goal.
What about the tactical application? What do you make of it?
The technique was very good, and the power behind it was
there
also
was power in
very
it
good.
as well.
Yeah.
Makes the fans quite happy here when the power comes in. The scoreline has changed. Hadi Hossaina 2, Adama 1. 72nd minute penalty. Idiot Ofesa says, get out of my sight. There are two players on the ground from the Hadi Hossaina side and one from the Adama side. I think there was a yellow card that was given earlier on by Lydia. There hasn't been many cards coming out in this one. I think Emmanuel could have been, it could have been the recipient of a yellow card earlier on for dissent. I think must have said some not so nice things to the referee earlier on. Otherwise, the game has been very well officiated. You can hear the despair, even if you don't hear his words, but you can hear it from the non-verbal communication. He's saying, now what is this here now? Dula Mulatu will get some instructions again from the very experienced coach, Ashenafi Bekele. After having scored a goal, after having pulled a chance to score a goal and gotten a penalty for the side as a substitute, what else do you think the coach is telling Dula Mulatu?
To keep on running up at that Adama defense line, because it will be subject to a lot of fouls on him because of his speed, especially in the box.
Yellow card has been given to Salifou Fofana. Now the players going into a little bit of a lull here and getting desperate, especially with the goals being scored. Salifou himself getting into the wrong books of the referee, and the card is still out, almost like a confirmation. Plus, of course, it's got to be written down lest you forget. And a free kick will be given to the Adama side, who are now coming back into this game and coming back forcefully. Fisher Thomas has changed the way this game is being played up front. He's big and bulky. He's been able to take on the defender, so he's kept them in their line, including Isinda and everybody else. So now they're staying more on their line than anything else. The goalkeeper is arranging how they should be facing the ball and what spaces they should leave and which ones they should cover. And Fisher himself lifts it. There are more men going for it. Isinda heads it back. Can they go for a counter-attack? Well, Bismarck Apea has got it, and Salifou Fofana is right ahead of him. It depends on what Salifou does. Banks into the defender, Mujahid Mohammed, who sends the ball off the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in, and it's going to be for the Hadi Hossaina side. There's a niggling pain that Salifou is touching on Gilbert, and he's not letting go there. The coach is himself in a different kind of pain.
Well, Salifou seems to be having a problem with his left thigh.
That's him. He's gone onto the ball and tries to set up Hotessa, who simply evades a tackle that he thinks would have been injurious to him. Well, this one is picked up by Dula Mulatu. Sneaks it to Salifou, who was not quite expecting it. And now Adama will start it all over again. Back into the midfield. Mikalu Genene. He doesn't give it to his teammates, although they pick it up again. Oh, they're just trying to get someone running up at the front, and they don't know exactly who that is going to be. They're getting frantic in trying to get 3 points out of this one. Jamil was so far from that, Gilbert. He wasn't going to get to it.
Yeah, they need to stick to their game plan. They are very good when they are moving the ball around. They only need to at least lead their passes as quickly as possible and get into the opponent's half whenever they can be able to move forward.
Kalu Abera stops this one. And it gets to Lester Gishamo. The backline is just pushing it around to try and find the spaces that they can use. That should be an attempt to get it to where Fisher and his teammates are fighting for it up at the front. Mulatu, suddenly a man who changes the game with just the way he's running on the flanks. And even just his touches on the ball, make for a better game every time when he's in the Hadi Hossaina side. Salifou brings it back to the center after Apia. Not even Apia, but one of the other midfielders had already given up on it. Apia lets it roll off. Apia lets it roll off the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be for the Hadi outsider side. For Ashaleo Haile Michael and for Shinafi Bikele. A difficult time and a very difficult 12 minutes or so of the game. Full of anxiety and anticipation, full of expectation as well on trying to take the 3 points. It's usually your loss becomes my gain. So whoever loses here, the other team will be gaining on it. Going to be a throw-in, and it's going to be for the Hadia, for the Adama side. A free kick, I beg your pardon. They're making another substitution. Do you remember this man, Gilbert? Abdissa
Jamal.
What do you make of him? A forward is probably going to come in, has actually come in place of Jamil Yacob, who was playing as a midfielder, mostly defensively.
Yeah, he's now he's going to move into the right offensive to try and at least put a lot of pressure moving forward. He provides a lot of power, pace, and also he's very good technically. I think that's the card that they are waiting to bring in.
So they are putting in more forwards in this game. The Adama side, a clear indication that they're looking for 3 points and are not content with just one. Same as the other side when they brought in that diminutive but very technically adept to Mulatu Dula Mulatu. It was intended for Mulatu as well, but it's too deep. It will go to the goalkeeper. The Reggie Alemu will start it, rather Apes Abebe will start it for the Adama side. Look at the statistics on the complete passes. Very, very close. Yeah, but just very close. 200 and 200. The incomplete ones, at least I've got a little bit of variation. More of them on the Adama side. But 3 goals in total in each from the 29 attacks we've had so far. A good friend of mine once told me, Gilbert, that the game of football is full of military terminologies. You know, the attacks, the defenses, you know, and so many of them as well. The fouls that are being used in there, shooting to finish the game, to kill it as well, you know, the foot soldiers, just so many of them.
And the timing to attack. And
yeah,
when
the
to
strategies that they have to make, the retreat, you know, gunning for gold and all that. It's going to be another foul here, quite unnecessarily. And even though he tries to plead his case, he's being told it's all right, it's just part of the game. And Desalegn Dibash did think that he can probably be able to pacify the referee here. That's the worst thing you should ever try to do. It doesn't work that easily. That's a tackle, and he was not even going for the ball. I mean, and that's a tackle that really can injure and get a player to end his career. It was on Salifu Fofana, so it's the right thing to do, to penalize it before it gets worse than that.
Yeah, before appealing for leniency, he should have known that he was going to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And he should have stopped doing that.
You're right. In fact, the only time you can appeal for leniency is after you've committed the crime. So actually he should have checked himself, like you're saying, before committing the crime, so that it doesn't go to any court and the ruling goes against you to make now the appeal. I think he's all the more brighter in those matters. He didn't pick up from the midfield. Otesa with a good ball now, try to... No, he's just looking at getting into the box and falling. He's going to get a yellow card. A free kick will be given in the opposite direction. No doubt about it, for diving. It's pretty obvious that he was doing that, Gilbert, isn't it? Why did he just leave the ball and then go straight into the box to fall?
Well, he was in a prime position. A number of players were actually on the left and the right sides, and Tefeste knows that he made a mistake for not giving out that ball as quickly as possible.
Tesfaye Alebachu is yellow carded. Went down too easily. His main intention was not to pass the ball around. It was to run into the box and then try to fall down. Spotted by the referee and lose his possession. Maybe now he'll do a better job here. This is Otesa getting the return ball. And enough black stockings in defense. Get him off the ball as well. Yowalashet Fikadu was involved in it. They played back to their defenders. Time's of the essence here. It's quickly passing by. It's quick completely lapsing. It's just 8.5 minutes, now probably 8 minutes in regular time remaining. Is that enough time, Gilbert, to be able to change this game for any of the two sides?
Oh, but that's a lot of time.
Oh, that's a lot of time.
You can even score 4 goals if you want to.
But I heard it in your voice wavering there, much the same way as preachers will always, give their message at that moment. You're saying definitely something might be coming in this direction. It's a lot of time.
There's a lot to expect from this game. It's far from over.
Yeah, plus we've got added minutes as well in this game, so we'll wait and see what happens. It's going to be a free kick for the Adama side. They've thrown themselves into defense. Can you see the way they're organizing the defense, Gilbert? There's everybody trying to get behind the ball. The Adama side is equally trying to throw everybody into the attack. The touch here is not a good one from the captain of the Adama side. It sends the ball off the field of play. Yolishet was he was sharp enough to be able to go to that end, Gilbert.
Yeah,
but too deep that ball, he couldn't cut it back.
He was trying to get to the far post. That's exactly where most of these balls have been placed, because that is an area that most defenders don't put much concentration on.
Oh, an unnecessary tackle there, coming from behind from Mujahid Mohammed. Didn't need to do it. He's just rushing past the goalkeeper, past the referee there, but he knows he's committed a crime in front of the referee there, and on to the captain as well. Unnecessary, very unnecessary. It's going to be a free kick for the Hadi Hossaina side. And big good to the Hadi Hossaina side. They changed the captaincy, like I told you earlier on. I think now, yeah, they give it to Enoch, our feature. This will go all the way to the goalkeeper, although he's playing a high line as the last man. You go back to Adama in the middle of the field. Expectation not on them. Apea as well is losing a little bit of concentration there, because there's not so much going on for him on that side. And that goes off the field. It's going to be a throw-in. 5 minutes. What instructions are being offered there, Gilbert? This is their last 3 results for Hadi Hossaina. They haven't lost any of them.
They have 3 wins and comfortable, very comfortable at the top. And this win would definitely push them to first position. So the coach wants to keep a clean sheet.
Yep, I think he wants to. And Tessa is the man they will be toasting to if they get onto the top, because yes, if they win it, they'll have 12 points and they'll go above everybody else, because the highest tally of points at the moment, I think, is 10. And then they have a good goal difference as well, which is a plus 4, which is a good goal difference. They will be on top of it, depending, of course, the other matches that will be played in the next round. But again, they're one of the teams that have played fewer number of matches, the Hadi Hossaina side. Just 3 matches. The rest have played 5 and are on top. So there are 2 matches less for the Adama side. This is their 5th match. 15 goal attempts and only 11 on target. And out of those ones, we've seen 3 goals so far. We are still on a very low count of fouls as well, just at 25, which is good enough. It's not the count that you really want to be able to get out there to anyone. It's going to be a free kick that will be taken by Hadi Hossaina. Gilbert, what's your take so far? What needs to be changed? What's happening?
My take is that Adama are trying to get into Hadi Hossaina's game plan, because they're very good. Hadi is very good in the air. Therefore, if you start playing the long balls, then you get into their game plan. They need to slow down, play their game that they used to, knocking the ball around and finding the right time to execute.
So they shouldn't get into that game plan?
They shouldn't get into Hadi's game plan.
All right then. Dula Mulatu is got a plan on his own here. Tries to get the ball to Dawa Hotesa. But Hotesa is playing very carefully. He's not getting involved in very many tackles. He wants a clean ball every time it's coming to him. Fisher has been fouled here. It'll be a goal kick. hard tackling defense in the Hadia Hossaina side, coming from Tesfaye Bekele. I think the coach is more composed at the moment. He's going to be making a substitution. He's going to bring in the player we haven't seen for a little while, and I'll tell you the story about that player as well. We've seen the story in statistics as well, but for the coach Asherafi Bekele, he's got other thoughts in trying to make a substitution with just about 2.5 minutes remaining. Dawa Otesa is out on the left side with a lot of space and decides to change the wing onto the right side. Could have played it from close range there. He tries to get Henok Arficho, who's way off. Oh, not Henok, but tries to get to one of the strikers up at the front, who's way off on the other side, while he had somebody close to be able to play it too. What happens to players, Gilbert, sometimes when the game is going in this direction? Why can't they just use the closest person who's there and get the ball to him?
Well, if you don't have an option, then you
had two options.
The other option would be to play that long pass.
He had two options, Gilbert, and that's why I'm asking. If he didn't have an option, that's totally different. But he had two options there. He took the third one, which was so far off on the other side. The result is they lost possession on that one. This is going to go to a pair who's run past the goalkeeper and slotted in the easiest of goals here. Oh, it's Salifou Fofana who slotted in the easiest of goals from the run there. He says use the head, and that's what he has done. The defenders going into sleep there. They just lost concentration, and they know it. Tafesa Serka knows he lost concentration. 2 touches is what Salifou Fofana takes to be able to get the ball into the net here. Oh, it's going to go beyond the Adama side. Referee says get back into the field. Let's do it. And because he went off the field to celebrate, he's left out there. What do you make of that run? First touch is that one. Look at the second touch.
It came straight from the goalkeeper, and it bounces in front of Tafesa Serka. And look at the way Salifou takes on. The goalkeeper comes out to narrow the angle, and he picks the opposite side, very quick-footed, and Salifou Fofana scores his second goal in a situation where you didn't expect. That was a quick counter-attack.
His celebration is good enough, but he makes the defenders think about themselves. Tafesa is wondering, what did I do there? For the bench, they are good, and I think he's been substituted, immediately scored, and his place has been taken by Michael Joreje. Now, if you have time and if you're on your phone at the moment, after the scoreline is confirmed, wondering what did I do there? For the bench, they are good, and I think he's been substituted, immediately scored, and his place has been taken by Michael Joreje. Now, if you have time and if you're on your phone at the moment, after the scoreline is confirmed at 3-1 for the Hadia Hossaina side, I want you to Google the name Michael Joreje. He's a movie star, and he's also playing football for the Hadia Hossaina side. So I think it's that moment that we make movies on the field as well. A pair was being tackled. He didn't lose the ball, and the tackle might have looked so bad, but it didn't catch him as well. He evaded it. 4 minutes of play is what is being added in this one. Is it enough for Adama to do anything in it? Or this game belongs to Hadia?
It's still enough for them to make amends if they can push more people forward. There's still a lot of time on the clock.
It's gonna go into the box again. Start the build-up from there. And they play it into the midfield. Joreje, that's him. Cuts a very good figure up at the front. And looks very fluid in the midfield as well. This one, Otesa has gotten to. Decides to run on the flanks. Doesn't touch the ball here. Tries to run for it and keep it in play, and he does. He's going to get a corner for it. But he initially should have been able to play it onto the outside. Michael Joreje was waiting on that side. The defenders are getting frantic, but they're getting confused as well. And that goal, the third goal for Hadia, has thrown them into a panic.
Yes, it has thrown them into a frenzy here. They really are not the way we expected them to be tightly knit. They are not compact in the defense, and they're being caught in 6s and 7s.
It's going to be a corner. A lot of men getting in there. Michael Jareja is in there as well. He's taller than everybody else in that box at the moment. And three others are there. Jareja makes himself available. Can't get his head onto it. I think this one will roll on to the other side. It's going to be a throw-in, with the coach issuing some very last-minute instructions here. 4 minutes of play in added time, and we've played the second one, so we've got only 2 minutes. Yeah, but what's the summation of this one while we watch the last bit of this movie unfolding in the 5th week of the resumption of the Ethiopian Premier League?
Well, the main actor, Salifu Fofana, has actually exited the scene. He did not finish the movie, and they brought in now the movie star in another character, Michael Jorete, who comes in knowing very well that 3 goals up, and barring any calamity, they are running away with this one. So Hardy have been forceful in the way they wanted. They wanted to attack, win this game, and they've done it. For Adama, they decided to sit back and enjoy football, and they lose this game.
It's going to be a free kick then. Very hard shot directly to the goalkeeper. And he'll start it again from his end. Adama will be challenging for this one. Abdissa Jamal, he already has 1 goal to his credit, but this time round he's fouled. It's going to be a free kick, and I don't think he has a lot of time to be able to do this. Just 1 minute in regular time remaining, actually a couple of seconds of this one, and Hadi Hossaina just on the verge of getting to the top of the Premier League table standings, unbeaten, and with 12 points. They will have played 4 matches and won all 4. And it's a kind of mathematics that you're not going to put in yards, Gil, but it's just 4 times 3. That's 12. It's just the numbers. And so Adama have a chance to take a free kick. It could just be the last bit of action that we see in this one, as they organize it. A hard one, dipping on time, but very easy to pick up from the goalkeeper of the Hadia Hossaina side. Dereji Alemu has kept a good stance in goal, and even though he has conceded 1 goal, he still helps his team to win it. For Ashenafi Bekele, it's a big celebration here. 4 matches unbeaten, a total of 3 points that they pick up. They've added 3 goals today to their goal difference, so the goals 4 becomes 9, the points become 12. It's the best so far that you've got in the Ethiopian Premier League, and there were goals that came in very nicely. This one, Isinde, is the one who actually puts it in, although it was taken into celebration by Salifu Fofana. The last touch was on the knee of Isinde, so Isinde rightfully should own it in the 36th minute of the game. That's when they opened it, and then a chance came here for the Adama side, and Tigistu Abera rolled the ball past the goalkeeper, the only time that he gets a chance to be able to do that. They looked like they were going to be running away with a point here. Then enters Dula Mulatu, and he gives a penalty that is converted by Dawa Hotesa, courtesy of his runs inside the box that made the defenders cut him down.